And we are live. Let's get y'all some man Bill Saint. Welcome. I really want to know podcast, man. How y'all doing, man? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday and all that good stuff. Let's see what the sounds good. Hope you guys are well. It's hump day, halfway through the week. I know a lot of people are like, oh man, Friday's almost here for those who have standard jobs and are off on weekends. But for most people, weekends don't mean nothing because everybody's working all these kind of crazy jobs. It is what it is. Appreciate y'all coming through, showing us support, man. Thank you so much. All the well wishes. I think I caught up on the comments. I was in like catching up on the comments today. As you can see, I can move around. My back feels way better, about 85% now, guys. Way better. So yeah, all is well on this end. Today we're gonna be talking about some red pill stuff, man. The Red Pill Roundup, bro. I think on Wednesdays what I'm gonna do, maybe have some red pill talking points, some videos to to look at, talk about the stuff. Or if I can't find any videos, maybe we'll just randomly do some searches and see what's out there, pull them up and watch them, and I just get my two cents. And today we got a couple videos, man. We're gonna talk about why dudes are not taking girls on expensive first dates, which they should not be doing that. If you watch this platform, if you're in Red Pill, Manosphere, you know not to do that. But looks like guys are doing that. Why Bill Maher never got married. So like this old video of Bill Maher and Joe Rogan talking about that. And the effects of hookup culture with women, in particular young women. So let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Get some indeed. So yeah, today's gonna be a fun little talk, man. I like having these conversations. I got into this space, YouTube stuff, because of the manosphere, because of the red pill world. So these are the conversations that I like having. I like talking. I like doing it. I had someone who hit me up not that long ago, was like, hey man, thinking about starting a podcast, and he was telling me his projected numbers. Like, I believe I'm gonna be I'll get 10,000 subscribers within 6 months, and then I'll be I'll be averaging probably 50,000 views a month. I'm like, what are you gonna be talking about? Right? And he's like, this stuff, right? Red pill stuff. I'm like, what format? You're like, oh, kind of like the way you do it, just kind of StreamYard, turn on the camera. Okay. I was like, we'll see. You know what I mean? People, y'all need to understand something, man. This YouTube stuff is not easy. The easy part, the easy part is getting the equipment and getting the different platforms and turning on the cameras and learning how to work the stuff. That's easy. Learning how to hit the buttons. You know what I mean? We can hit the buttons. That's easy. Getting that viewership is hard. It takes work. I know that, Fresh and Fit talks about this all the time. All of the big YouTubers will tell you, like, bro, it takes years. What I am noticing is if you are like a celebrity, like let's say a CD list celebrity, former athlete or something like that, or you're an attractive young woman, or just an attractive woman, or just a woman, really, it can be a little easier in that world, because a lot of them have built-in markets. A lot of them have fans that they've already cultivated over the years. In the case of young girls, I mean, they're just cute, right? So, and like that. The whole simpleton thing works for this. So that'll get you eyeballs. But if you're just a regular dude out here, or you're a guy trying to do something, retired or whatever, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. And I think that's a really good metaphor for doing the work and getting to the finish line. And if guys want to see how difficult it is just for the average dude to go out there versus the average woman, like, bro, she's going to do laps around you. She's going to do laps. So, to that young brother out there, man, I told him, I said, hey, man, do it. You just don't know how it's going to go, but be patient. So I told him, like, be patient, bro. Getting 1,000 subscribers was really tough. Getting the watch hours, I forget what the requirement was on watch hours. I think it was 4,000 watch hours or something like that. That was tough. But if you like it, if it's fun, like for someone like me, man, this is fun. get to talk, we get to meet people and talk to folks from all over the world, get to get the voice out there and get our ideas out there and get the conversation going. So I'm cool with it. Right. But I'm here to tell y'all, fellas, you just like a regular old dude, right? Just a guy, and you're thinking I'm gonna go, start myself a podcast and I'm gonna be pulling in whatever money, or I'm gonna be pulling in Albert and Preach money, within 6 months. That's probably not how it's gonna go. It's probably not gonna, especially with this content, especially when you get the shadow bans and all that, because YouTube does push certain content and stuff they don't like, they don't push. Case in point, that Joe Rogan interview with Donald Trump, bro, they shadow banned that thing. I thought that was insane. Like, how can you shadow ban someone as big as Joe Rogan and Donald Trump? But they did, right? Joe Rogan was talking about it. It's like, hey, here's a link to the video if you want to see it, because it's hard to find. So for all my friends who were saying you're paranoid, thinking they're shadow banning you, bro, you ain't big enough. Like, boy, if they can shadow ban Joe Rogan, they can shadow ban anybody. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, let's get to the video, man. We got this first video, bro. This is from a CBS affiliate, I think it is. CBS Miami. They were talking about first dates and guys, opting to go on the cheap for the first date. Now, this is coming out of Miami, so this is, put the filter on, guys. This is Miami. This is one of the big cities, bro. Like, definitely one of the big five. You got LA, New York, Vegas, Miami, throw Atlanta in there, right? Like, the big five. If you expand that out to the Big 10, throw in San Francisco, San Diego, throw in DC, throw in Dallas, right? But I would definitely say Miami's in the big five. I mean, I would argue big three. Miami's my favorite city. I think when it comes to womanizing, if your goal is to go out here, you're trying to smash, you're trying to meet women, do whatever, Miami, to me, is the number one spot. Because it's not a massively big city. The women there are absolutely beautiful. The culture is a little bit different. We've talked about this before. Like, if you really want to go out and, you want to meet some beautiful women and kind of, get your skills up, I always tell guys to go to try Miami. Try Miami. Like, Dade County's cool. Try Broward, Broward or Dade. Anywhere in South Florida to try, bro. I'm telling you, it's a different thing. Like, the South Beach thing, stay away from South Beach proper, but Brickell's cool, Wynwood's cool, going up to Broward, Hollywood's cool, Pembroke Pines and all that. Like, bro, it's so much. Homestead, Doral, Kendall, bro, you're going to meet some cool women, as opposed to going to a LA. Same thing in LA, but LA is so spread out. It's massive. Hollywood, Santa Monica, Venice, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Malibu, Studio City. Like, when you get to the LA stuff, the women in LA are just like, first of all, they're not from LA. When you go out there, at least when I was there, things have changed a lot in the past few years. I haven't been out there in a while, but the people you would run into were all transplants. When you finally did meet LA folks, then it was like, oh, LA people are real cool, right? It's the people who moved to LA to give LA a bad name. But when it comes to dating and stuff like that, bro, you gotta know what you're doing. All of the, you want to be a cool kid. Money comes into play. Height comes into play. Looks comes into play. Car, like, it is what it is. New York, same thing. There's women out there who are all about your title and what circles you move in. And before Uber was like the cab money and all that, did you do with the private car service, or you just getting in the cab? All that came into play. And in New York, it was all about how much money you made. Right. Atlanta, kind of similar. Atlanta was, Southern, it's the South, and it was cool, especially for Black folks. But Atlanta turned into something different. Again, a lot of transplants, and then it's like with the LGBTQ community, man, a lot of dudes down there, undercover gay guys. They're out there messing with women, messing with dudes. So Atlanta was kind of different, but back in the day, like back in the late 80s, early 90s, man, it was popping. So of all these other cities, I'm always like, yo, go to Miami. Go to Miami. If you want to go out there, you want to holler some people, go to Miami. So I thought it was funny when I saw this video. Like, wow, here is the news in Miami talking about men who are stepping back from investing up front on these, taking girls out to these dates, man. And here's the thing. When you get to these big cities, man, you talk about the top five, the big 10 cities, bro, they got the best restaurants, man. They have these experiences, man. That shit costs a lot of money, bro. It costs a lot of money. So you meet some woman, she's beautiful, you don't know her, you're trying to get to know her, you offer to take her out, like, hey, I'm gonna take you to Carbone's, or I'm gonna take you to Mr. Child's, or I'm gonna take you to Sexy Fish. And bro, that could cost you, bro. Like you're looking at anywhere from $500 to $1,200, depending on how, you know what I'm saying, how you really trying to rock it. And if you get with the wrong woman and she wants to drag along one of her friends, that's even more money, bro. Like you got to be gamed up. You got to be gamed up. And yes, trust me, in the big cities, man, these girls are out here running their game, getting these experiences for free. So the guys are finally starting to catch on. they finally trying to catch on. We got Scam Likely in the building. What's good, Scam? We got Dusto in the building. We got Sister Crystal Vegan Smith in the building. Cheapos, hey, look. Look here, shorty. Look. You gotta work your way up to that sort of stuff if you're a guy. And you know, times are hard right now. Like dudes are really people in America are struggling right now. There's not a lot of disposable income. And for guys to take that money, earn that money, and then just kind of take some woman out on experience because she's pretty and she has a big butt and a smile, and he's like, I'll take you out. And she's like, oh, I really want to go to, and she names the place, like, I really want to go to Dirty French, like in Miami. It's like, and the dude will agree to it having no idea what Dirty French is. Right? And it's like, bro, it makes more sense to, take her out for some ice cream, take her out for coffee, or, do something else, which is what this article is about. But Sister Crystal, good to see you. She's like, cheapos. Hey, baby, when's the last time you took a dude out? When's the last time you treated a dude to his favorite restaurant? You know what I mean? Like, cheapo, like, shoot, girl, that stuff. I mean, I tell you what, sis, how about you meet me in Miami and Brickell and you can take me to Mamo's? How about that? Take me to Mamo's for an early dinner. I'll love you forever. And I promise you, I won't even order the expensive stuff. I just want the truffle. I'm just gonna give me like the truffle pizza and the skirt steak and the potatoes. That's all I'm gonna get. I won't even order. I'm gonna drink water, maybe some lemonade or something. I'm not even gonna order drinks. How about that? And I know you just playing with me. I'm playing with you right back, girl. I'm playing with you right back. But hey, this is what I'm talking about, fellas. This is why we do this. This is why we have the Red Pill conversations. And it's not just us, fellas. We're not in the locker room. There are women here watching and listening. And, appreciate you, sis. Like, please continue to comment so we can learn, so the guys can learn. You know what I mean? Plus, hey, I'm Uncle Saint, man. I ain't too old to. Holla, 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 holla. So what's up, girl? What's up with you? I'm just playing. So let's get into this video, man. Let's check this out. This is a Miami affiliate, CBS, and they're talking about dudes on first dates. Here we go.
So dating can be all about first impressions, but ladies, listen, we may need to be setting the bar a little lower, at least according to some. I don't buy it, but
this has people fired up. We've been talking about it all morning long. So a new survey finds men really want to opt for budget-friendly first dates that include burgers and fries.
So Austin is here with the top go-to first date spots here in South Florida, and it might catch some people by surprise.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, it's cold outside. We've got the turtlenecks on. It's cuffing season. It's underway. So that's why we've got to dive into this.
Fast food joint, though?
Hey, the guys are getting a little bit cheaper. But listen, guys, we're pretty practical. So listen to what the survey found here. 3,000 singles were surveyed. This was nationwide by datingnews.com. Now, some might call it cheap, but it seems that most guys want to get away from those traditional ideas of dating. The survey finding the top choice among Florida men for an affordable first date meal is Chick-fil-A. Yeah, you can't go wrong with the waffle fries. McDonald's, the third pick there. So, maybe a quarter pounder, is your thing. Dairy Queen, that is the third pick among Florida guys. Well, if you think guys are the only ones dodging that high cost hurdle, the survey also found that 2 in 3 women would agree to a fast food first date if asked.
They're not asking anyone on this desk.
They didn't ask anybody up here, that's for sure. All right. And speaking
So y'all see it right there, right? All of a sudden, the women, and let's keep it 100. This is Miami. These are newscasters. It takes years to get to the desk. They're on the desk. I'm looking at the woman in the red and the woman in the black as, still attractive and they're older. The one in the blue, bro, she's past it, but I bet you she's married. So it is what it is. And she's speaking on, this from her perspective. Like, just think about it, 15, 20 years ago, bro, come on now. Women were getting taken out to nice restaurants. It is what it is. But the the price points have changed, right? It costs way more to take a woman out to a nice restaurant today than it did, 20, 25 years ago. Inflation, you get it. Y'all know what it is. So, she's like, not even Fridays or Chili's exactly, but it was, what did they say? Like McDonald's was on a list. Chick-fil-A was number one. McDonald's was on a list. Dairy Queen was on a list. Like, these dudes are still looking to get coached up, sis. They're just like, they just looking at the budget like, man, I don't know her. She ain't gonna be doing nothing. You know what I mean? Dude, like, I'm just trying to get to know her. And the fact that the majority of women, it sounds like, well, okay, they understand it and they're still going. Of course, they still get to eat for free, right? It's just, they still ain't paying. The guy still has to put forth the effort. So, I mean, I get it. And the women who are going to have a problem with it, like these women here, or like the top tier women, and top tier by looks and appearance, the most sought after women, yeah, they're not, that on average, like if a dude walks up to her, some regular dude's like, hey, I want to take you to Chick-fil-A or whatever, she's not going to do that. Because there's so many simpletons out there, and there's so many dudes with money who have no game. There's going to take her to, her favorite lounge or wherever. They're going to take her to Komodo, dinner somewhere else, and then like dinner at Mr. Child's, and then drinks at Komodo. They're going to take her to see plays and all that kind of stuff. But here's the secret, fellas, and I can't stress this enough. If she's a top tier woman, she's fine. She's a 9, 10, whatever. She's a dime. She's all that. And she digs you, she will go to Chick-fil-A with you, bro. And don't get it twisted. She's been to Chick-fil-A before. So she knows what she's going to order, right? She will do it if she's into you. But understand, she's also running a rotation. She's not going to give up the nice experiences and the high-end restaurants and all that, and the yacht parties and the penthouse parties and the mansion parties. She's not going to give all that up. But if she digs you, she'll spend time with you, and, she'll go and slum it, right? You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But yeah, Fridays and Chili's, according to the financial news, Fridays and Chili's, they have deals on their hamburgers and stuff like that and appetizers, and they're actually cheaper to go there than it is to go to McDonald's and buy a value meal, like a quarter pounder meal, or if you go buy a quarter pounder meal and a Big Mac meal from McDonald's, it's going to cost you more money than if you had gone to Chili's and sat down and have them bring out their burgers or whatever. And the quality is better. It's crazy that Chili's Fridays are competing with McDonald's for market share for customers right now, and they're winning. If you notice, for those of you who eat fast food, the prices spiked and then they're starting to come back down at fast food. That's because Chili's and those guys are out there fighting with them for market share. But let's continue.
I do love Chick-fil-A though.
Right. And there
Every
is a time and a place, right? Except for Sundays.
Maybe not
Exactly.
for the first date.
Here's my deal. I think it's volume control, right? With all these dating apps, men are trying to see so many women out there that they're like, I can't afford to take them on nice dates. So
Completely logical. Completely logical. I don't buy that it's actually happening.
And here's what happened. So you're probably one.
And y'all hear that part right there? See, the older woman there, she's saying, no, these guys have so many choices with the dating apps. They're seeing so many women. We know that's not true, right? We know that's not true. We know that the average guy is getting virtually no attention on dating apps. We know how hard it is. Even if you match with a woman, to get her off that app, get her onto another platform, and then get her to come off of that platform, not come off of it, but to get her to meet you in real life and go out and do something, it's hard for the average dude. So do you see how when women hear this, they're like, no, because they're looking at it through their lens. Through someone like her, she's like, there's no way. Like, no, these guys, they must be seeing so many women and da. Well, the top tier dudes are. The top tier dudes are running rotations. The guys with game are running rotations, right? But it's the guys with the game that don't have a whole lot of money, right? They're not even taking them to McDonald's. Those are the guys who know how to get around that. They're taking them to the park. They're going to take them to a free yoga event. Like, hey, which guys will be trying to tell y'all be trying to clown these yoga classes. Man, I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to get you a fine little limber, whatever, who's fit, got it together. Go to a yoga class. And a lot of the good yoga classes are free. They work on just tips because they're all about that free energy and all that and whatever, especially in places like Cali and LA. Oh my God. So you just got to bring your own mat. And some of those places even have mats that you can use. But I digress. Getting back to this. Women will always point to the guys and be like, no, these dudes are running so many women. They're just trying to be cheap because they can't keep up with all the dates and that they're blah, blah, blah. That's not happening. Right? That's not happening, sis. You know, whoever this lady is, I'm pretty sure she's married. I can't see her hand. They don't do any tight shots on her, so I can't see if she's married. That's something that I do, guys. When I'm watching news and I see these boss babes out here, these corporate babes out here, these, you know, talking heads, I'm always looking at their ring finger to see who's married and who's not. And the vast majority of these women out here are not married. These top end women, they're not married. Why is it that they're single? Well, they're having a hard time finding a dude who's at her level or better, is my guess. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Brother Scam was like, I would rather take a woman to a healthy restaurant. I would rather take her somewhere where it's almost free. But yeah, you know, there was a place in LA years and years ago. What's the name of that actress? From Baywatch originally. She was married to Tommy Lee. What is her name, guys? But back in the day, this was in the late 90s, early 2000s. She had a hit show out back then. She was doing like I forget the name of the show, but you know, they were like solving crimes or whatever. God, what is her name? Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson was the first person that I ever knew that was vegan. I don't know her personally, guys, just, you know, but like she was vegan and she had a chef and he opened a restaurant in West Hollywood. I believe this was, I want to say this was late 90s, early 2000s. I think it was called The Skillet or something like that. And everything was vegan. This was before there was the big push for veganism and all this. Everything was vegan and the food was amazing, bro. This is gourmet chef. Everything was vegan. Everything was, you know what I mean, healthy. So yeah, Scam, if you was out there, you absolutely would have been in that spot. Sister Crystal, where do you go to get good vegan gourmet food in whatever part of the world you're in? Because here in Tampa, I only know of one vegan restaurant. It certainly isn't gourmet. I had a friend of mine, my trainer, actually took me there one day after we worked out. She was like, hey, check out this vegan place with me. And I was like, man, I don't know about vegan food. But we went. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It was spicy, it was very flavorful. I just didn't like the texture. I'm used to, you know, I'm a carnivore. I'm used to steak, but it is what it is. Yeah, people need to lay off their pig gizzards and buttered biscuits anyway. Hey, look, man. Hey, look, I agree with you on the pig gizzards, but hey, man, them biscuits now. Come on now, especially with that butter, bro. We got brother D-Mac in the building. What's good, fam? Can't take away my biscuits now, man. Some good biscuits, bro, with some butter on there, maybe some syrup or some jelly, some jam, something like that. Ooh, some preserves, man, some strawberry peach jam, something like that. I know it's gonna kill me, but I don't care. I'm gonna die anyway. Brother D-Mac is like, what are we talking about? A woman you just trying to hit or a woman you trying to get serious with? Great. That is a great question. And again, y'all know how I get down. When I talk to these young men, and we're talking about women and dating and stuff like that, I'm like, what's your mission? What are you trying to do? Right? Especially if it's a woman that you just trying to smash. Like if it's a woman you just trying to smash, you know, I definitely wouldn't be taking them to high-end restaurants. But there's a play for that. Like if you know what you're doing, your games together, and the money really isn't an object, you know, there's definitely a play for that. You're going to get points. That can help you get her in the mood, let's say, and into the bedroom quicker. If you do have bread, like if you taking her to someplace exotic and you have the ability to provide that experience, and she kind of likes you and you got a little bit of game, whatever, you don't mind spending the money, bro, it might happen that night. But if it's just someone you just trying to smash, you got a rotation, that's when the 3-day rule applies. And I'm not trying to spend a lot of money. I'm not trying to invest a lot of money. So D-Mac is right. So brother D-Mac, if it's someone that you are trying to be with long-term, do you then, in fact, you know, agree with going to a really nice place the first time out, investing a little bit of money? What's your thoughts on that, bro? It's like, I'm assuming someone you want a relationship with. You know what I mean? There you go, brother. Dino Dinosaur is in the building. What's good, fam? I'm working on that soundbite, bro. I found I just got to upload it, man. That Dino bark, that I got to just put it in here, man. I found it. I found the soundbite. I just got to upload it, and then when I see you, I'm gonna be hitting that. Brother Dino's in the building. Anyway, Pam Anderson, thank you. That's what I was thinking about. And brother Scam, like, if a woman suggests a healthy restaurant or a gym slant fitness date, she gets a day sent pass. Not from me, bro. Not from me. That's cool if that's what you want to do, bro, but not from me. She's gonna meet me for, she's into healthy stuff, man. She's gonna meet me for smoothies. We're gonna, instead of getting ice cream, we're gonna get smoothies. And we're gonna take a walk around the park or take a hike or something like that because she's active. And then the second date will be that yoga thing I was telling you about. I'll find a cool little yoga spot that we can go to. We'll do yoga, and then after yoga, get salad or something like that. Maybe another smoothie or something, a juice bar somewhere. And then the third date, you know, maybe we'll go someplace proper. But keep in mind, by then we will be within the, you know, the 3-day rule. If she makes it to the third date, that's going to be more than 3 days that I've known her, or it's going to be the third date. So I already know, like, hey, we finna do that. You know what I mean? It's finna go down. If it hasn't already gone down. If I'm just running rotations, if that's what I'm looking for. If it's long term, the 3-day rule still applies, right? But I might not execute on the third day or whatever. I might, I'm just gonna make sure she's down. I might stop and say, hey, this is great. Let's just, let's wait, girl. That's, again, it's part of the play. It's just, like that song, Let's Wait a While. Who made that song? Let's wait a while before it's too late. Let's wait a while before I think that was Janet Jackson. That Janet Jackson song, Let's Wait a While, have it playing in the background. It's all part of the play. But I'm telling you, man, when I was running my game, I was running my game, bro. But there are no passes, bro. There are no simpleton passes in this world. You know what I mean? None at all. So you see how the older women are just like, there, Janet Jackson, 85. Yeah, that's that song, boy. That's when Janet was fine, bro. What did Trent say? Put me on the planet, damn it, where all the women look like Janet. But anyway, let's get back to the video. I think I'm glitching, guys. I might be glitching out there. I'm down to like 1 power bar, so bear with me. I'm gonna just keep talking crazy so the power bar goes back up. But no simpleton passes, fellas. If you're out there, if you're listening to me, Scam. I would tell you. I'll tell Scam this to his face. No passes, right? If she's fit, like you say, oh, she's fit and she's into healthy and this and that. All the women you deal with should be into that. Why would you even come outside of that lane if that means so much to you? And Scam, he's all about that. So, bro, if you're someone like Scam, all the women you dealing with should be in that lane. So there is no passes needed when every woman you dealing with is, she qualifies. Right? If you just out there like me being a Viking, just being hedonistic and you just smashing whatever comes around the corner, then that's that life. You know what I mean? If you just out there running numbers, and there are a lot of guys who do, you just running numbers, run your numbers. That works. But never give a pass. Don't give a pass to anyone. That's my take on that. So let's get back to the video.
Wondering, the ladies that were surveyed here, this is why they would agree to this. 41% say they'd agree to that fast food date if the vibes were right and if it was fun, they wouldn't mind. Also, another 40% said they appreciated the honesty of the guy. Said, hey, look, let's maybe hit up McDonald's. Not the ladies here, though.
I'm not even
The
judging,
fries are
but
good
it just kind of blows my mind.
But
I mean,
maybe that's the first thing.
I'm not going to ask anybody to McDonald's on the first date,
like,
but
no.
coffee works. There's other options, but
unsolicited advice.
yeah,
Don't.
coffee
don't.
Good
From the ladies here.
All right.
Talk to Austin. He's our agent when it comes to this.
So it didn't look like she had any rings on her fingers. The older woman that we were just talking about, didn't look like she had any rings on her finger. But did you hear how the other 2 women, or the younger women, were saying, well, the fries, she knew like, well, the fries at McDonald's are cool. The study was saying that some women like, well, we appreciate the honesty. Here's the thing. If a woman is into you, bro, like I said earlier, she'll go. If she's digging you, she'll go. She's trying to figure you out. Like you're already what she like. It's something about you that she digs, right? And it could be the basic stuff like you're tall, dark, and handsome. You're fit. You got muscles, right? You're funny. It could be those things. Maybe you have a cool car. You got a decent car. You met her through friends or whatever. So y'all, it was easy to get to that point. Whatever. She's into you. If she's digging you, she'll go to McDonald's, bro. She'll go to Chick-fil-A, bro. Like she'll do those things. If she's not, if you're a dude that she's only entertaining because you provide her with experiences and she has an opportunity to get said experiences and not pay anything and not do anything with you, then nah, she absolutely is not gonna go to McDonald's. Right. So I know dudes, you know, in my travels, man, I've come across guys who were well-to-do, making big money, all that kind of stuff. And they would meet these girls and we would say, man, there's no way in hell you're going to get that chick, that bougie ass chick over there to go to Frisch's. And Frisch's is like fast food restaurant in Cincinnati. It's by Big Boys in California. But we were in Cincinnati, like, there's no way you're going to get her to go to Frisch's. And dude was like, what? Watch this. And sure enough, we go to Frisch's 2 days later and she'll be sitting right there next to him, happy. She wouldn't eat anything, maybe a fry. She wasn't eating nothing. But she was sitting in there happy to be in Frisch's. She got something to drink. I mean, she got a hot fudge cake. When dessert came, she got a hot fudge cake. We sitting there eating our Big Boys, fries and whatnot, you know, and I'm like, what? You got? He was like, bro, man, she into me, man. She'll come anywhere with me. I can bring her to the hood. When we bring her to the hill, I'll bring her up to the hill. Like, nah, don't do that. No need to put her in danger just because you're trying to prove a point. But women, if they're into you, fellas, they will go anywhere. Right. And here's another thing, too. There's some women out here. You see the videos, these women talking about the icks and the places they won't go. Please, all them women to go wherever, bro, even if they're trying to run it. And they know the economy's messed up. If she's trying to run your pockets and the best she can get out of you is a quarter pounder meal at McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A chocolate, you know, shake or whatever, she's going to get it. It's free. She's going to get it. Now, you're not high on her priority list. But you catch her on a slow Wednesday, she's like, I ain't trying to pay for this Chick-fil-A. Yeah, give me a wrap with some of those waffle fries and a chocolate shake. And, you know, that dude to go pick it up, get the drive-through, pick it up, bring it back to her crib. You know, and, you know, she'll eat it and then kick him out or whatever. You know what I mean? It's just, you got to know the difference, fellas. You got to know when a woman is running her game versus you running your game and figure out what's it worth to you. Like, what are you trying to get out of this? But I just thought that was funny. I thought that was funny that the news people were talking about guys not paying a lot of money for the first dates. Men do not ever pay a lot of money for the first date. I don't care who the woman is. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care if it's like your crush from third grade or whatever. Do not do it. Treat that woman the same way you treat the chubby chick that's your slow Wednesday. The game shouldn't change. No passes. I don't care what Scam likely says. No passes. No simp passes, bro. Treat them all the same. Run the same game. Right? Understand that, fellas. That's period. Period. And a lot of people are like, well, yo, Unc, what if this is the woman I've always wanted? She's the one I want to marry. If she's into you like that, bro, if she wants to be with you as bad as you want to be with her, then she'll show up no matter where y'all go. Just like you'll show up no matter where she wants to go. She'll have you doing stuff and wearing shit. She'll have you putting on tuxedos and everything else, doing shit you don't want to do, but you'll do it for her because you into her. Same thing, she'll do it for you if she's into you. So that's part of getting your game up. That's why game is so important, guys. That's why you have to pay attention to what's going on. That's why you need to, listen to people like me. That's why you got to listen to what's going on. And say what you want about Fresh and Fit, Myron and Fresh, bro. When they do their Womanizing Wednesdays and they talk about this sort of stuff, bro, I'm telling you, I am 90% on board with what they're saying. You should plan a date. She should not be telling you what to take her. You should be doing your research and find out how to make this happen. Fresh talked about this a long time ago. It's like, yo, take her somewhere where it's women, it's ladies' night. So you can take her somewhere, it's ladies' night. So maybe you get at a restaurant, it's like buy one entree, get an entree for free. So there go the food. You getting the food for half off, and women drink free all night. So she's getting her drink, her whale drink all night. That's not your man, girl. That's not the one that you want to be getting top shelf to anyway. So that's how you do it. That's how you plan it. If you let her plan it, then you go into one of the most expensive places in town, a place she's never been, a place that she can't afford to go to. And when it's over, you'll never see her again because she got what she wanted. So just letting you know, man. Just letting you know, Brother Pitney in the building was good, fam. Yes. Please like, please share, please subscribe, do all that. Appreciate it. We do appreciate it. So I want to go with this video here. This is from Lynn Everly. Lynn Everly. These videos are linked in the description below. Please like, subscribe, and support these folks over here. This is a young woman. I believe she's Norwegian. She's in America, and she has a bunch of videos. We're actually going to be reacting to more of her content. But I want to do her video. She has a video where she talks, just a little bit more serious, guys. She talks about the effects like of hookup culture, why women hate casual sex but keep doing it. And she brought up some good points. It's about an 8-minute video. Let's definitely check this out. The reason this is important to us as men, to you guys, especially you young guys out here, you need to be able to identify this stuff so you can move forward. Like, you might come across a woman who still has regrets about something she did in her recent past, and here you are, and you're trying to figure out, well, why is it so difficult, or why is it she let me smash it and all of a sudden she started tripping, right? A lot of it is because of what she's been doing, like, and more to the point, who she's been doing. So you want to be able to identify this, and maybe you can come up with a way to let her know, like, hey man, it's cool, I ain't tripping, like, just, you're gonna have to use the kid gloves on this one, because this does affect women differently than it does men. Like, dudes can go out here, this hookup culture, casual thing, 4, 5, 6 times a day. It's not going to bother them. It's not going to mess them up. But women, it will. So it's the difference. And like, feminism have these young women believing that you can be like a man in all aspects. You can go do this, and that's just not healthy advice. There are some women who can. It is what it is. There are some women out there that can do their thing. They run their body count up. They keep it quiet. They keep it in the closet, like I tell you, right? You want to keep all that in the closet. Don't be filming it. Don't be letting people know who you messing with, right? Because plausible deniability only works when there's no proof. And you need that plausible deniability so you can pull a Bill Clinton and be like, I did not, have relations with that dude, or I did not have relations with that girl. That's the only way it works. If there's proof out there, you got problems. And there's some women out there who, young girls, they do their thing, they have their fun, they close the door on that, and then they're ready to settle down. I've seen that. And it went the distance. I know women who did that, got married, never got divorced. I know women who did that, got married, and they got divorced. So, I mean, that's a whole nother conversation we're going to get into in a second. But let's check out this video and hear what she has to say.
Women used to be shamed for having sex before marriage, but now it seems to be the most normal thing in the world.
Body count, I have to say, does not matter because I have over 100 bodies.
But does this come at a cost?
I think casual sex is almost always more risky for women than it's worth it.
So why do women keep having casual sex, despite all of the negative side effects? Well, there are actually multiple reasons why that's the case. Starting with the most obvious one. Since the pill was introduced in the 1960s, women can have sex without risking a pregnancy, which of course leads to more casual sex. This is a no-brainer, but it's still very important to mention it. Because if there was a chance of pregnancy, would you still be as comfortable going home with a guy you just met at a party? When you use birth control, you rationally know that the chance of a pregnancy is pretty low, which might sound like a good reason to participate in hookup culture, because it won't really have serious consequences like a pregnancy. So why the hell not? Well, I'll tell you why not.
Yeah, please like and subscribe her channel. She has good stuff over there, man. I've been watching her channel grow. She's only been at this not that long. And I mean, her subscriber count has doubled over the past month or so that I've been watching her. So shout out to her. You know what I mean? Shout out to her doing her thing. It's one of those things. And even Brother D Mackey saying, hey man, like, body count matters for either gender, like both genders. It does. I don't agree with you there 100%, bro. I think that, well, let me think about this. For young men, for guys who start out really young, if you're like, 13, 14, 15, and then you're starting to be active like that, yeah, it's going to mess you up. I mean, it's depending on who you are interacting with. I knew some dudes like 15, 16 years old, and they were dealing with grown women. Yeah, I think it can. I think it can. I think on the balance of probabilities, I think it doesn't really mess them up that much. And most dudes, the vast majority of guys, they don't have that option. Like women always have that option, but guys, I mean, it's a lot of work to even get there. But when you turn it around and you have, like, because it's so easy for women to get sexual access, I think that it does affect them differently. But that's just me That's just my hypothesis, bro. I'm not a female. I don't know. And I'm not in that, I'm not a shrink or anything like that. But like body count matters if you are a quality man or woman. That statement, that full statement, I agree with. Yeah, the quality part. Yeah, if you just out here running, if you just a heathen out here, you just a sinner doing your thing, it's not going to matter as much for that guy as it is for that woman. But I agree with you, bro. Appreciate that. Let's continue.
After you hit the subscribe button. Just because you can do something without immediate bad consequences doesn't mean it's actually good for you. If anything, it's the opposite, because it will still emotionally damage you. And if you look at it from an evolutionary perspective, it makes perfect sense. Before birth control, having sex was basically the most consequential thing a woman could do. Because pregnancy can be risky in and of itself, and childbirth was even more risky in the ancestral environment. Less so now, fortunately. And even if you survived all of that, then you have the responsibility to look after the child for the next 18 years. And this is a very big difference between men and women. Women can potentially only reproduce like once a year, but men can in theory reproduce like 1,000 times a year. In the Stone Age, there were no laws that held them accountable for being involved in raising the child. So then you better be damn sure that the man wants to commit to you and wants to look after your offspring. For men, sex just wasn't that risky, but for women, it was. Nowadays, your rational brain might understand that you probably won't get pregnant from this man who's not serious about you, but your reptile brain does not because of all the years of evolution and survival mechanisms. That instinct.
And that's a great point. This way that we do things now is fairly new. I mean, this isn't, when you look at the history of our species, this is new. This the birth control thing and what goes on with the courts and, extracting resources for women who get pregnant and don't have, a mate to stay with them. And the choices that women have right now, like women that have a baby with a dude, don't like the dude, get rid of the dude, and society will keep the dude away from his own kids. And at the same time, extract resources to give to the woman, which she doesn't even have to spend on the children. That's another conversation for another day, but they don't track where the money goes. So, and that's something that I think is going to change here in the not too distant future as well. But she's right. Like our programming, the way men and women are programmed. And that's why I was saying what I was saying with Brother D Mac. I'm like, the way men are programmed, I could go out here as a dude and run through 15 a day for the next 15 days. And it wouldn't bother me. It probably wouldn't even remember. I mean, I look back on my own experiences in real life and it's like, man, there's people. I told the story. If I was sitting next to a woman, talking to a woman for a couple hours, come to find out that we had been together, I simply didn't remember her. She remembered me though, right? And she was really hurt by that encounter, by me not remembering. And we were really young when we did what we did. But, later on in life, I just didn't remember her. So, man, it hurt her. It didn't really bother me that much. I was like, hey, what's up? And still would have been like, you want to do it again? So, but I get you, Brother D-Mac, when you're saying wanting to be the top 1%, like you holding yourself to a higher standard, like, why would I mess with the neighborhood bicycle? Like, why would I mess with the, a little bust down? And I get you. But there are a lot of dudes who are like, I know, there are dudes out there who are, top tier, high value men, according to the Kevin Samuels matrix. It will still just run up in whatever, maybe they had one too many drinks or whatever. And it can cost them. I'm not saying that it's, it's a free ride. I'm not saying that, it's not going to be bad or, that nothing's going to happen. Bro, you choose, we say it over here all the time. You choose the correct woman, bro, your life will go 1,000x from where it is in the positive direction. The sky's the limit with the right woman by your side. But if you choose the wrong woman, the exact opposite can happen. That woman can absolutely, utterly destroy you and destroy everything you're trying to do and destroy the kingdom you have built. And it's all because the man chose to be with that lower tier woman. So absolutely, I agree with you, D-Mac. That's the Don DeMarco on your statement right there, bro. Don DeMarco. Last good man, the Jersey's in the building. What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Yeah, we over here just talking about right now we're talking about hookup culture and how it is bad for women. We're watching, reacting to a clip from a young YouTuber who I am absolutely agreeing with. We got Brother Mandel in the building as well. Appreciate you guys. Let's continue.
is not going away just because only 60 years ago the pill was invented. Your reptile brain still feels like you put yourself in a situation of great risk and danger. So that's the reason why so many women feel bad after casual sex. They feel used, and I've even heard women say that they felt like they were raped, even though the sex was consensual. The truth is that women aren't built like men. Women tend to get more emotionally bonded from sex than men do. So if there is no commitment or investment from the man, that can be really painful for the woman. But all of this still hasn't really told the whole story of why women keep having casual sex despite not liking it. If casual sex feels this bad for women, why don't they just stop doing it? Should be simple enough, right? Why would you do something that makes you feel shitty? And that's where culture comes in. Where women used to be shamed for having sex before marriage, they are now praised and celebrated for it.
So, I mean, she has a point there. I am sitting here thinking, and I remember when I watched this video for the first time, I'm like, yeah, why would you do it? You know, again, there are some people out there who have no problem with it. They move in silence. They move in darkness. They keep it in the closet. So when they're ready to move on with their life, I mean, it doesn't hurt their reputation. But then now we have these young girls out here and they're putting it all on Instagram. They're putting it all on social media, like whatever this woman's about to say right here. They put it out there and it's like, that doesn't go anywhere. And men are watching. And, you know, you come across a dude, you're Prince in shining armor, and he's going to see this video or he's going to find out you did something and he's going to break off the engagement. Right. And if you're in Massachusetts, she's going to have to give the ring back because they have a law there that says whoever buys a ring, an engagement ring, and they don't get married, the engagement gets called off. The person who bought the ring gets to keep the ring. So make sure you guys, if you propose in that state. So, but just a quick joke. But no, that's, you know, she's bringing up a good point. Women are being praised. Again, men, as a dude, if I walked into a room, it's like, yeah, I've been with 1,000 women. They're going to make, oh man, he's a man. There's something about him that's special that many women would want to sleep with him. If a woman came in and said, yeah, I've been with 1,000 men, they're just like 3 or 4. You know what I mean? She's a bust down, right? There's a woman who did 101 dudes in a day all over social media. I mean, yeah, she's a pro. I mean, you know, she was in the business. She was an adult film star. But bro, there's one thing to do it in that world, the adult film world. I mean, that's a very dark world. It's a really good chance that what you did could get lost in all the other stuff. But to broadcast that on social media, that puts the eye of Mordor on you. You feel me? That puts the eye of Mordor on you. And it's just more likely it's going to come up. And it's not like you're going to watch the event. It's just that you hear her saying, I'm going to do it. This is how I prepared and blah, blah, blah. That's going to hurt you if and when you come across a guy that's really into you. And she'll always be able to find a dude, but what type of dude is going to be okay with that? It's not going to be a top tier dude, right? More likely it's going to be one of those lower tier dudes. I mean, it is what it is. Lady DeVoe is in the building. What's good, sis? Phil, you, thanks for coming through. Appreciate you. So let's continue with the video.
When you go hook up, you need to see it as sex and you're out. Your shift is over, baby, you're gone. Because that is what he sees it as, genuinely.
These days, even children have phones with social media, and they have access to this kind of content. The fact that my 10-year-old sister could potentially see this really breaks my heart. And it could also be your sister or your daughter who sees this. People really get influenced by what they see on the internet. Young girls see this in their vulnerable teenage years and think this is normal. And especially young girls are very easy to influence, and they will do anything to be part of the group, even if that means doing things that you don't really want to do. I can imagine this is really hard to understand if you're a guy watching this, so I'll try to explain this in a way that also a guy could understand it. But just like men, women are also competing with each other. We also have a certain hierarchy, but we don't compete in the same way you guys do. You guys compete out in the open, by fighting, making money, achieving something difficult, whatever it is. But women don't really do this. Women compete in secret. And as a woman, one of the most valuable things you have is your reputation. And all women know this, whether that be consciously or subconsciously. If a woman feels threatened by another woman, she's not going to challenge her out in the open. No, she's going to try to ruin her reputation by spreading gossip or even lies sometimes. And this is especially true when it comes to young and immature women. Fortunately, a lot of women become less mean when they get older. Now, why is this relevant when it comes to explaining why women keep having casual sex despite not even really wanting it? Well, let me give you a personal example. I remember this one time when I was in high school and this group of girls were talking about who they hooked up with last weekend and who they gave blowjobs to or whatever. Anyway, I was just standing there listening to it. But at a certain point, one of the girls looked over at me and asked me, "So, do you have any interesting hookup stories, or are you still a virgin?"
Wow. That's the kind of pressure I never faced. Let me take that back. I just lied to y'all. I remember, now that I think about it, when we were in elementary, like 6th grade, because in Ohio, 6th grade was still elementary, 7 and 8 was middle school, and then 9 through 12 was high school. So I remember in 6th grade, it was like coming up on spring, we're about to graduate from elementary. All the dudes in the crew would be lying about the girls that they were with and who they smashing and this and that. Now, at the time, you didn't know that they were lying. Everybody's looking at you like you ain't never been with nobody. So you got two choices. You can say, yeah, I ain't never been with nobody, I'm still a virgin, whatever, or you can lie, right? Just so you can keep your status in the group. Only to find out later on down the line, when we were grown, that the vast majority of those dudes, they didn't get nothing until they were grown. They went all the way through middle and high school, and they were never with a woman. Like it was a very, very small minority of dudes that were actually smashing during those years, which was crazy. But if you listen to what everyone is saying, you just assume that everyone was doing it. So you got that. So that was that's how I had to deal with it. I can only imagine having to deal with it as a female. And this is why single parents, here's a parenting tip. Always talk to your kids. I have a teenage daughter. We always talk. We talk about this, and sometimes you got to drag it out. You got to make sure your kids are cool and they understand they, where you coming from, and get that information out there to them and make sure that they know. Again, my daughter's a teenager. She knows I do this podcast. She's in her room now. She might even have her door open and be kind of listening to this, or she'll pull it up and watch it later. I don't think she watches the content, but she knows it's out there. So I'm constantly talking to her, especially about something like this. I'm definitely gonna be talking about this moving forward for the next couple of weeks, because that peer pressure, man, that could be a real harsh thing. And the peer pressure that was placed on me by guys, boys who weren't even doing it, they were lying. Can you imagine that you're being peer pressured into doing something and come to find out you're the only one that ever did the thing that they was pressuring you to do in the first place? As this is tough, but this is why you got to talk to your kids, especially why you got to talk to your little girls. Like, let them know, like, this is the kind of stuff that I will be showing my daughter as she gets older, right? She's in high school. So these are the things, this thing about peer pressure, we're going to watch this soon.
And I just didn't have an answer, and all of the girls started laughing at me. The girl probably suspected that I was a virgin, and she wasn't wrong, but I remember feeling so embarrassed because they literally started laughing at me and looked at me like I was gross. But in hindsight, what she was trying to do is ruin my reputation. She was trying to make my value go down in the eyes of the other girls. Because in a Western world, being sexually active is being seen as cool. It's something that can give you status as a young girl. Probably not in the eyes of most guys, but it does give you status in the eyes of other women. And that's what girls are going for. They don't really care that much what guys think about them. They care more about what the other girls think about them, especially in their teenage years. They are dressing up to compete with the other girls, not to look good for you. Hate to break it to you, but it's true. I mean, not always, but when you have an immature woman, she probably does. So what did that experience do to my vulnerable teenage brain? It made me feel like I needed to hook up with someone to be part of the group. That is something you have to do when you want to be accepted and be worthy of friends. But to this day, I'm very happy that I never gave into that feeling and never participated in hookup culture. But there are probably a lot of girls who will give into that feeling. Because that experience really made me feel like there was something wrong with me for being a virgin. And let's be honest, teenage girls, they can be ruthless. Not gonna lie, I really hated high school. I'm really glad it's over. The good news is that girls usually do get better over the years. But if this kind of thing happens to you in your vulnerable teenage years, the years where you're programmed what kind of woman you're going to be, this is really bad news. Because if you're not hooking up, you're simply not one of the cool kids these days. Not participating in hookup culture literally can be used to ruin another woman's reputation. In the eyes of other women,
Yo, that's crazy because, you know, my daughter goes to a really good high school. Like we're in one of the best areas in the city. And you know, I go to campus for like football games. My daughter's in the band. I'll just be hanging out, watching the game a little bit, but I'm there to watch my daughter perform. And then I'm around the kids. And what I'm noticing, and again, I'm not there every day, but what I'm noticing is there's only a small percentage of cool kids, let's say, they're out there being all up on each other, kissing and, you know, looking all promiscuous and stuff like that. Not like when I was in school. It was the other way around when I was in school. It was a free for all. It was wild. You know, that's why I believe that everyone was doing it. I'm like, bro, all these girls are doing, you know, it was crazy. Again, only to find out that maybe half of the people you thought were active like that really were. You know, the vast majority of the kids, even in my school, probably half of them were virgins, right? But that still meant that the other half weren't. That's crazy. And Brother Dino was saying, Dino, I gotta undo it now. Brother Dino is saying that Scandinavia, like the hookup culture, looks like it's crazy. They got apps to make sure that they don't hook up with cousins, bro. For real, less expensive than Miami. Hey, but the flight over there might. Hey, but you heard it here first, guys. Hey, you might want to go over there and check out Scandinavia. I haven't been in that part of the world. I do know people from that part of the world. I have met a woman. I called her my sexy Viking. That was a crazy night. And that was in LA. Like I said, there's nothing but transplants in LA. The whole world goes through LA. The whole world goes through Vegas. A good chunk of the world goes through Miami. Like that's the gateway to the Americas. So I didn't know it was like that though, bro. We're talking Sweden. We're talking Norway. We're talking Denmark. Like where are we talking exactly, bro? Like all of it. You know, I know they were pretty loose in Germany. Pretty loose. I would say kind of like America and Germany. And Germany was kind of like here. You just didn't have to talk as much. Like when she wanted to be with you, she wanted to be with you. That's something. Thanks for sharing, bro. Thanks for sharing. Let's get back to the video.
Might add, because it's almost like girls are being taught that it's better to have a high body count than it is to be a virgin. Now, what I see around me a lot these days is that there are two camps. One camp is like, you go girl, go have sex with anyone, don't let anyone stop you, girl power. And in the other camp, there are people who think that women are bad creatures and they're all sluts. But I'd like to think that I'm somewhere in the middle, because being in either of these camps is not helping you at all. It's not improving your quality of life. But I think today's biggest problem is the fact that we're not paying enough attention to the dangers of hookup culture for women. Because the mainstream message is that you should be able to do whatever you want. But the problem with that is that people usually don't know what's good for them if they're not educated. They're told this narrative that sounds empowering when you first hear it, but will leave you lonely, single, and childless in the long term. And I'm not making this video to shit on women. I'm a woman myself after all. But what I'm really missing in today's world is being able to have honest conversations about these kind of subjects. Everyone just seems to be insulted all the time. But I don't really understand what's wrong with that. Sometimes you need to feel pain in order to grow. It's just part of life, and people completely seem to forget this. And speaking about destructive narratives, I also made a video about why dating is currently broken and how we fix it. So now you can watch that after you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yeah, please give her a subscribe. Check her out, man. She's pretty cool. Sister Lynn. Sister, there she is right there. Lynn Everly. That's what's up, man. Hit her up. She's doing her thing. Let's give her a Don DeMarco for that video. That's pretty cool. Pretty open. Don DeMarco. Pretty honest. And I'm with her on that, man. We should be able to have this conversation. We should be able to keep this dialogue open. Because that peer pressure is something, man. And we putting that kind of peer pressure on young people and girls in particular. And here's the thing, like dudes are gonna want to smash. Like men are made to do that, right? To spread our seeds far and wide. Why don't we smash everything that we see? Because women are the gatekeepers of the Foxy Brown. Like it's women who are the gatekeepers of sex. So if we get into an era where women are just like being encouraged to just open your leg for any old body, man, from a male point of view, if you are just trying to smash, you would think like, oh, this is great. But at some point, you're going to want to settle down. At some point, I don't care what your county is. At some point, look at Dan Bazarian. He's at a point now, he's like, man, I don't want to mess with all these women. At some point, you get tired of dealing with all these different women. You do. At some point, you're going to want, for me, it's just going to be one. At some point, I'm going to want one. When I'm ready, when things are cool, I got everything sorted out, I'm going to want just the one so we can move forward together and hopefully it'll work out. I could not imagine running rotations, this late in life, like in my 50s out here running, a rotation of 8 to 12 women and constantly adding and taking away from that rotation. That's so much work, so much energy, so much time. For what? Just so you can smash? I think like now when I go out, instead of looking for women that I can really smash, although I can, it's the radar still works. I'm looking for a good conversation. My thing is like, man, I would love to meet a woman I can have a good conversation with. And when that happens, and it does happen often, I'll walk away out and I'll tell her like, hey, this was an amazing conversation. Thank you. Appreciate your time. This was great. Sometimes that'll lead to, she's like, hey, let's keep in touch. Now that might be said, all right, we keep in touch, whatever. But it's not like when I was younger, 10, 15 years ago, it was like, what's up, whatever, let's go back to the telly. It was that. Now is more, I just want to have a great conversation. But it is crazy. So why is this important? Well, if women are out here smashing just any old body or smashing who they want, and we all know that if hypergamy is a thing, which I do believe in, they're going to be getting the top tier guys. They're all going to be smashing the same dudes, right? If that's the case, when it's time for a regular guy to meet someone or some guy who's out there trying to find his wife, he's going to have a hard time. Like, especially if he's, in his 30s and up, he's going to have a hard time because these young girls are out here smashing like crazy. It doesn't make sense to even try. And then you try like, well, I'm going to try to reform her or, I'm going to overlook her past, even though I know some of it, she didn't tell me all of it. I'm going to overlook her past, get married, maybe start a family. 7 years in, she wants to go back to the streets. She takes you to court. You lose half your stuff, right? Right. That's where the problem comes in, right? The problem comes in when you're trying to get committed and you have people who, man, they just gone through so many dudes and they weren't mentally prepared for it. Again, some women, it doesn't bother them or they just present as if it doesn't bother them. So this last video I want to show you guys, this is Bill Maher was talking to Joe Rogan. And this video says it's 4 years old, but I think this actual interview is older than that. It might have been 4 years ago, but I thought it was longer. This Bill Maher is talking about why he never married. And bro, I heard the stuff that he says I'm with wholeheartedly, and Joe Rogan was doing classic Joe Rogan stuff and was just being funny. And I think if you guys have probably seen it, but if you haven't, check this out.
The Joe Rogan experience.
I want to know how the divorce laws came to be. I do. I want to know. Somebody must have written a book on it. I just want to know how we got to this place where, first of all, this idea that you have to live in the style of which you've become accustomed.
I can help you here. I can help you.
Great.
Couple ways. Here's the big one. Lawyers make a lot of money if there's a large settlement.
So it's lawyers.
Yes. Lawyers don't make a lot of money if there's no settlement. Phil Hartman, when he was getting divorced, one of the things that he said to me, I go, dude, just fucking give her half. Come on, man. You make a lot of money. He goes, it's not half. He was crazed. He's like, it's 2/3. He goes, the fucking lawyers get 1/3. It's a goddamn scam. And I've had friends that have gotten divorced, and even though they had come to an agreement with the ex, like let's listen with this, and you'll get this, and I'll get this, fine. Then the lawyers jump in. He's trying to fuck you, and this and that. They're trying to fuck you over. You deserve more.
That's exactly the plot of the movie Marriage. Have you seen Marriage Story?
I haven't.
Oh,
no.
It's terrific. I was again at the beginning because it was about an actress and a theater director, and I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, can't you at least pretend that there are people in America not outside of your...
So Bill Maher goes on, he's talking about the movie that he saw, whatever. I just put it on mute for a little bit, but Rogan has a great point. It is the attorneys who push that, bro. They push that, bro. Like it's just one of those things. Let me drag these nuts. So JSJD, bro, listen, I'm assuming you're a guy, and I'm assuming, you posting stuff like that, you're definitely a weirdo. But you can learn stuff here, bro. You can learn stuff, right? You can learn stuff that might, you might be able to change your life around. It might be some good things for you to go out here and stop being weird and knowing when it's appropriate to be weird and not appropriate, and go out there and get you a good woman or whatever you're looking for. So I'm gonna let that ride out. I'll just block the message or whatever. I'll delete the comment. You do another one like that, player, and then we'll just kick you out. But I want you to stay because I want you to be able to learn, how not to be weird. Like that stuff right there, just the weirdo stuff. What's the point? How not to be weird. I see you. I can help you. If you want my advice, I'm an old dude. I've been around. I know what I'm talking about. I can share experiences that might help you out. I don't want to ban you, but if you do that, I got zero tolerance for dumbasses, bro. So if you do that, then I'm gonna have to just get rid of you. You know what I mean? This is a fair warning. Let's get back to the video.
And we're going to get divorced, and then we're going to let's just do it amicably and not get lawyers involved, and then it all falls apart. And once it goes down that path that you're talking about, it just becomes as vicious as anything.
Yeah.
Without guns.
Well, I had a friend who got divorced and no family. Okay. No children. They didn't have children. And it dragged on for more than, I think, almost 3 years. And even though they had come to some sort of conclusion, he was paying for his wife's lawyer. I go, it's like you're paying for the general of the army that's trying to kill you.
You're paying for someone to fuck you in the ass.
Yeah.
You're getting.
They're not lying, bro. That's how it works, especially if you got big bread. You're paying for the other attorney, right? And that other attorney doesn't get paid if there's no case. So they're going to constantly talk their client into another motion. You can file for this. You can ask for that. They will purposely say, hey, why don't you ask for this? Knowing you're not going to get it. It just drags it out. That's more phone calls. That's more meetings. That's more, money that has to be paid. She ain't paying it. And a lot of lawyers, like a lawyer told me this a long time ago. They're like, you know why we ask you how much you make and we want to see your pay stubs and all that when when you came to the office? You know why lawyers do that? I was like, well, I assume it has something to do with court and being honest. Like, no, the lawyers want to see how much money they can get from you. They want to know how much money you have that they can siphon. That's why. Right? And they'll remind you, well, you have that money over here in your 401k. Well, you have that money over here in this account in your savings. Well, you have this money over here in this property. This property over here, you still have this much equity. That's money that they can get. And if you got a lawyer who's all about the money, that's what they're going to do to you. Like my friend was telling me, this is long before I had any troubles with family court. He was just telling me, like, this is how it works. He was like, the game is, he's like, it's grimy, bro. Like, it's grimy. And you get the best attorney, they're going to tell you, this is how much I need. This is what you're going to pay up front, whatever. It's like, but if they're not your friend, if they don't have a tie to you, bro, they can run you straight into the poorhouse. And even prenups, bro. Like Brother Pablo's in the building. What's good, fam? Even prenups, man. Prenups can just keep you in court for another 6 months while they challenge the prenup. People will tell you, like, buy my ironclad prenup. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Next thing you know, you're sitting in hearings and they're talking about the state of mind of the person when they signed the prenup and all this other kind of stuff, bro. It's crazy. And all they're doing is getting that bread. If you go to an attorney, you say, hey, I got this problem. I want to go get a divorce. I'm going through the family court. And you are worth nothing, bro. They're going to tell you, they're going to like, just go pro se, man. Just represent yourself. Get the paperwork, go down to court. Here's the courthouse. Here's the address. Go down to the courthouse. Here are the papers I need you to get. Get these papers. Bring those papers back to me. I'll have you work with my paralegal. You pay my paralegal a couple $100. They'll make sure the filings are done right, and you take them and file it yourself and blah, blah, blah. This is the best way to handle it. Just go pro se. If you get stuck, come see me and I'll charge you, I'll charge you half my rate. I'll charge you $150 an hour just to answer questions. And what they're really doing is having their paralegal go over the stuff. They'll glance at it, make sure it's cool, and then there you go. But they're not going to touch you with a 10-foot pole because there's no money in it for them. And that's what people need to understand. Like that, you got to understand that play. And this is all a part of being gamed up. When we talk about game, people just assume we're talking about the dating game. Like, bro, I'm talking about the game of life. I'm talking about everything. I'm talking about taxes. talking about family court. I'm talking about law. You know what I mean? I'm talking about criminal court. I'm talking about employment game. I'm talking about all of it, bro. All of it. I made some mistakes, and when I was younger, like in my 30s, really, and I'm still paying for it now. Stuff I got to clean up. I made some mistakes when I was in my 40s, and I'm still paying for it now. Stuff I got to clean up. Like, it is what it is. So understand that the lawyers get paid as long as you're in court. If the thing gets settled, then they're not making money.
Fucked in the ass.
It broke him. You can feel it.
I have
feel
seen
it in
so
his
many
body.
men broken by
Devastated.
it. Every time somebody says, people unfortunately get a horrible disease like cancer, and they say, I couldn't have gotten through it without my wife. I always think, yeah, and maybe she gave it to you. I don't mean.
And that's Bill Maher's sense of humor is crazy. He's like, yeah, maybe she stressed you out so much or whatever, it gave you cancer, whatever. But yeah, he'll never get married. And brother Pablo, even with that, like, she needs an attorney to go over the prenup or whatever. She's like, yeah, I had the attorney go over the prenup, and but you're in court, and the judge or the other lawyer will say, well, who paid for the attorney? Well, he did. He paid for the attorney. So your husband now, who was your fiance then, paid an attorney to go over the prenup that he wanted you to sign. Right. So that attorney was working for him. Right. So that see how easy it is. And I'm not even in law, but you see how easy it is to muddy the waters. Right. Meanwhile, you're sitting there just tick, 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 tick. You're paying for both lawyers. You're sitting in court. Tick, 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 tick. Every time your attorney calls, man, tick, tick, tick. That's money. Every time they pick up the phone, that's money. Every time they pick up the phone on your behalf, that's money. Right. I mean, bro, I've had attorneys tell me, like, yeah, man, I got a client that won't stop calling me, bro. It's like, I just billed him $5,000 this week. He won't stop calling. And he's like, we try to get him off the phone call, but he keeps calling. Like, damn, that's how the game works, bro. So the prenup is not, it's not ironclad.
Like that, I've seen people, like you say, just broken.
They get wrecked. And it's the system. The reason why the divorce laws are set up the way they're set up, people think, oh, we're protecting women. Horseshit. They're doing it so that they can extract the maximum amount of money out of the male. That way, the lawyer gets the biggest chunk that they could possibly get. Most lawyers have they're working on a percentage basis,
right?
Especially if a woman doesn't have as much money, or if she's, the lawyer will come to her, look, we've got a deal here. We'll figure this out. Don't pay me now. We're gonna make sure we get you the most. We'll take care of it all in the end. And this is what has happened to several of my friends that have been divorced. And you know what it is once you see it. What I get and I understand and I accept and I support is child support. I mean, I grew up with a deadbeat dad. My dad never paid for shit. And I have many friends that have also experienced a lot of financial hardship growing up because their dad was a piece of shit and didn't want to pay for their children. But people very close to me, including my wife. But when there's a big difference between that, a man taking responsibility for his children, there's a big difference between that and alimony. Alimony is creepy.
I mean, they're both creepy, bro. Like, I understand where he's coming from. Is like, child support. Like, Joe had a hard childhood. Mom's had a baby with a guy that didn't want to be around. And no disrespect to Joe Rogan, but it's like, Joe, you sure that the man that your mom said was your dad was your biological dad? Right? Like, because you got a lot of that going on. There's a lot of attorney fraud out there. Right. And I do believe that the laws are going to change to address that. Like, when you come in, they're going to make you take a DNA test. It's going to be mandatory. Like, or the guy's going to have to sign a waiver. You have to take a mandatory DNA test. When it comes to child support, it's like, well, you got a woman who has a kid and the kid is growing up tough because she, this poor lady doesn't have any money. Well, she gets child support and she's getting, whatever she's getting a month. Like I said before, the court doesn't track how that money is spent. Right? The court doesn't track it. So she could be getting $2,500 a month and she could be spending that on, Birkins and Kelly bags and, red bottoms and nice meals and stuff like that. And not spend a dime on the child. The child could still be destitute. And the court, again, that's starting to change. What they're starting to do now is the money goes on a debit card so they can track every purchase. And there's ways around that as well. So I believe, like, okay, I understand the whole thing with child support, but I also believe that, first of all, it should be a 50-50 split right off front, like they do in Florida now. You go into court, y'all ain't never been married, it's 50-50 custody right off the rip. And that affects the child support. And secondly, there should be caps. There should be caps to child support. Doesn't make sense somebody's getting $100,000 a month in child support. That just doesn't make any sense at all. So there should be caps, in my opinion. The system that we have is broken. Of course, it's not perfect, but we can make it better. We can make it better for the child, because at the end of the day, it's the child who needs this, not the parents. So, and then alimony is a whole different kind of animal. What he's about to start talking about now with alimony. We got Brother Cody's Kings in the building. What's good, fam? Bro, I appreciate what you sent me, man. Thank you so much, bro. And I'm on it, bro. We working on it. Appreciate you, man. And again, all you guys who hit me up when I was dealing with my back issues, man. Thank y'all so much. I really do. Especially Cody, man. He came through. He gave me some stuff to really think about. I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. But thank you, brother. So Cody is saying, like, our whole system society is based around milking every bit of money out of you as possible. That's facts. Men and women, but men carry the brunt of it. But I agree with you. Dom's in the building. What's good, fam? Rogan is so blue-pilled. Yeah, but mainstream media says he's a far-right guy. Isn't that crazy? Right? Joe Rogan's supposed to be a far-right guy now, right? Just because he had a conversation with Trump. It is what it is. It could have been. Like I said, man, you just don't know. And you don't know what happened. You don't know the situation. It is what it is. But again, there were women when I came up in the 70s, in 80s, I've seen it. There are women out there who really, they fell for the wrong guy. The guy did lie to them. They fell for his bullshit and they got stuck with the child. At the end of the day, they chose to have that baby, but they believed the lies that are being told by this guy. And they closed their eyes to all the shit that he was doing. So he's out there, he's got 4 or 5 kids by 4 or 5 other women in your neighborhood, but he's going to be the one for you. Come on, baby. So it is what it is. Now, the pendulum has swung the other way, where you have men who are good men and they want to be in their child's life. And, women are using the court system to keep the man away. Why? Because if the man doesn't have any time with the child, they get the max child support. Again, monetizing children, which is wrong. And it hurts the kids. It hurts the siblings. It hurts the families. And no one wants to talk about it. You bring it up. Oh, you hating women and this and that. Like, no, I'm not hating women. I just want the system to work. And like, as far as Trump making any changes, bro, it's not going to be Trump doing it because it's the right thing to do. If you got access to Donald Trump, you got access to his people, this is the time. I think this is the time for men to try to make some plays. There's only a couple plays that you have to make. But keep in mind with Donald Trump, he only has 2 years before he loses before he loses his advantage. Right? We're going to be talking about Trump tomorrow. So make sure you come through tomorrow, fam. We're going to be talking about Trump tomorrow. But this is a time for men to, and this I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna get off the topic because we could talk about it tomorrow. But as far as men go, right? As far as men go, and you guys know I'm not a Trumper, but now's the time to really try to make an impact on male issues in America. Now's the time. Now's the time to talk about, child support and talk about paternity tests and talk about caps on child support and talking about 50-50 custody and all that kind of stuff. Now's the time to do it. Now's the time to talk about I think it's Title VII. I think it's Title VII. See, the reason the states are so adamant about getting as much child support ordered as possible is because they get reimbursed by the federal government. And I want to say it's like dollar for dollar. So every dollar that they order in child support, the federal government sends the state. That's a lot of money. Like, if you really want to change the way the family court system is running right now, do away with that. And this is the administration that'll do it. They want to make cuts to government. They want to get rid of Department of Education. They want to get rid of the IRS. Bro, if you throw that up, they're like, yeah, we can get rid of that. How many billions of dollars would be saved if they stop, paying the states to issue child support orders, right? So I'm just going to give that as a little teaser for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about that sort of stuff tomorrow. Like, we're going to be talking about Trump. On Thursdays, guys, we're going to be talking politics. We'll talk Trump and anything around Trump and what's going on with tariffs and what's going on with the world and all that kind of stuff. So this is the time, bro. Like, Brother Don, this is the time. This is the time for men to organize and get active and try to take advantage of this opportunity under this administration that's coming in, this incoming administration, to help on some male issues, bro. Because it's men who put Trump in the White House, bro. Let's keep it 100. Men put Trump in the White House. So we're going to be talking about this tomorrow. And Brother Pablo was like, yeah, he agrees with Rogan, child support, even though they're not married. That's why I think, I mean, bro, it makes sense in concept. It does. I'm not against the concept. I'm against the way they implement it. And I'm really against the way that they monetize children and they force, parents to be away from their kid. And I mean, if it's all about the money, one parent has to have 100% custody and the other parent has to have 0, and that's going to be the max child support. Right? That's bullshit. We need to do something about that. Brother JSJD is like, sorry about my last comment, sir. I appreciate your response, and I'm going to finish watching your show. I can see you're a good man that I can learn something from. I subscribed just now. God bless you. Hey, God bless you, bro. I appreciate you, man. Shout out Don DeMarco. Don DeMarco, to these young brothers out here, man, trying to make it happen. Don DeMarco. I'm with you, bro. Like I said, man, I'm not, man, I really want to do what I can to help. I really do, man. Appreciate you, man. I mean that too, man. God bless you, bro. Although I'm a heathen, you know what I mean? I'm the last person you want to talk to about church and stuff like that, bro. But I do believe in right and wrong. I do believe in good and evil. And I believe we should live as righteous a life as possible. Having said that, I know we're going to do some evil shit. All right. Good and evil rest in each and every one of us. And it's up to us to do the best we can for those around us, right? Our family, our friends, right? Our community. So yeah, bro, I'm glad you subscribed, man. Keep coming, bro. We're here every day, Monday through Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, man. Keep coming through, fam. And if you got any questions or about comments, concerns about anything, man, shoot me a comment, bro. Shoot me a comment. I'll do my best to answer it. I'll answer it. And hopefully, we can get you squared away, get you some help, man. And what part of the country you in, brother? JSJD, what part of the country you in? Because, we got people all over America, man. We might be able to get you in some of our groups where, you can actually go outside and meet up with brothers who going to keep it real like me. Right. So we're in a few cities, man. Let me know where you at, bro. Like I said, all are welcome here, man. So glad you're here. Women do use children as pawns. Men do too. I mean, it's not 100% women. I've seen guys do the same shit, bro. Like it's good and bad on both sides, man. But the what's going on with our courts and what's going on with extracting resources, man, that's wrong. And like Brother Cody is saying, like, child support is screwed. It turns into a welfare payment. It does. It definitely does. Like Emmanuel agrees. It definitely does. Brother Mandrell is saying mainstream media is incompetent. Yeah. Is incompetent? Is that right? Yeah. I'm with you on that, man. That would be great, Brother Cody. If the world became honest and moral, that would be great. I mean, if we could just take a half step in that direction, I think that would be miraculous. It is what it is. We got Brother Ojo in the building, Canada. Cody in Canada, bro. They bring Canada coming up in here. Cody and Ojo are Canadian brothers, man, coming in. Shout out to you, brother. Good to see you, Brother Ojo. So now, like this video, this is why I say this video for last. Because so many women that I bumped into and so many older folks who are married and stuff like that, like, well, how come you won't do it? This is why, man. A lot of people, I send this shit to them. Like, watch this video with Rogan and Bill Maher. This is why. And they're making, I was like, bro, they're making excellent points and we can fix it. That's the thing. We can fix it. Look, y'all got me over here sounding like Obama. Yes, we can. But real talk, we can fix it. And I think if there was any incoming administration that would be open to working on this and fixing this issue, is this incoming administration. Again, not a Trumper, but I guarantee you that they will go in here with a hacksaw and they will cut away anything that they see as frivolous. And this is one of the things, like, why is the federal government paying the states to order child support payments? Why? Someone tell me.
There's something creepy about, like, my friend, like I said, didn't even have a child with this woman. He is still paying her, by the way. This is the same guy, very good friend of mine, has been divorced for 14 years, has been married for 12 to a new woman, still paying the old woman. And my joke was like, you fucked her so hard she can't work.
Right.
Like she literally can't work because he's a wealthy man. He made good money and he works really hard. He's not in the business. He has a real job and he works, long fucking hours every day. And he has his own business and he has to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to someone he doesn't even talk to anymore because he used to fuck her.
Guys go to jail. I knew of a guy who was a doctor who went to jail every night because he couldn't make the payments.
Oh God.
And they would like let him out on weekends to do rounds and stuff. But I
got a better one for you. Want to get in crazy?
Yeah. Hit me.
Dave Foley, who's on News Radio.
Yeah, sure.
When he was getting divorced was when he was on News Radio. So it was at a financial peak. He was the star of the show. He's making a lot of money.
Right.
And so his
payments
to that were set up for that.
Sure.
So this is in Canada, right? And the judge tells him, he tells the judge, I don't make that kind of money anymore. That was an extraordinary time in my life. It's very hard to make that kind of money. I'm an actor. The judge rather says, your ability to pay has no relation to your obligation to pay.
Wow. Think of that. Just pause here for a moment. What a statement. And where else would we say that?
It's insane. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands, like as if he's supposed to conjure this up, like his career is supposed to magically resurrect itself in some really financially viable way.
Since it is usually the man still who probably has the more money and is paying the woman.
Yes.
It's very anachronistic to how we have come to think about women as equal and strong and able to do everything we can do. But when it comes to this, it's like, we got to take care of them.
Well,
they're very
right. There it is. There it is. That's that feminism problem that women face. I'm independent. I don't need no man. Blah 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 blah. Get with a dude. Decide to have his baby, which is a choice here in America. Like, I'm going to have this guy's kid because I didn't have the kids of the other 4 dudes that I was messing with over the past 7 to 8 years. I decided to terminate that. But this dude, I'm going to have his kid, right? He has no choice in the matter. He doesn't want to be with her. I'm taking you to court. I'm doing all this, blah, blah, blah. The society steps in because she didn't know. She didn't know. Kind of like Bill Burr, Bill Burr was talking about Coco Chanel. She was scared. She didn't know. She was helpless. She knew exactly what she was doing, right? She had all of the choice. And if you try to take any of that away, then you're going to be hell to pay. And Brother Cody is right. This is what I was talking about earlier, right? And here in America, bro, they're just now getting to the point where like, hey, maybe we should track where this money is going because they're going out there buying all this expensive stuff and all that. Meanwhile, the child, like I said, child is eating rice or eating oatmeal or something like that. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Don't get too mad, fam. Don't get too mad. Don't get too mad. Here's the thing too, bro. It's not the White House. It's the lower courts. It's the administration, right? It's Congress. And it's really for this, we're talking about family law stuff. It's your state. It's your state. Like the feds kick in the money, but it's the states that set the groundwork and they set the law. So don't get too upset, but what we need to do is come together. And guess what? There are women out there who are like, yeah, this is bullshit. We need to change it. There are women out there like, nah, she should not be getting all that child support. Like, yes, you should make her do a DNA test. Yes, we should track the money and see where the money is going. Yes, she should be more, yes, the father should be allowed equal access to the kid. There are women out there who are on the side of making change. So don't get angry, right? Get to work. Roll those sleeves up, fam. You know what I mean? Start talking to your homeboys, talk to your people, talk to your friends, your female friends, your male friends, right? Come together, have a luncheon, talk about it. Find out which elected officials are sympathetic to these, are I don't want to say demands, but with this mindset and support them people and get in there and get to the hearings and do what you got to do. It's a long process, but it can be done. It can be done. And it is those elected officials who set the agenda. So if you get in there with the right folks, they'll bring this to the top of the page. They'll bring this to the top and start making some changes, man. And the easiest change, like they did in Florida, default 50-50 custody. If you've never been married and there's a child support issue or whatever, it's default 50-50 custody. Boom. That's easy. I mean, it's going to take work, but that's easier than, all the other stuff we're talking about doing. Florida did it. You know what I mean? Like, you could point wherever state you in, like, hey, Florida did it. Why ain't we doing that? And then the same thing with the mandatory DNA test. If you've never been married, mandatory DNA test. But the lawyers are going to fight you. Like brother Dino was saying, the lawyers here are going to fight you because you're taking their money. And at the end of the day, right, that is a multi-billion-dollar industry, bro. Billion with a B, bro. Right? They're not going to just let that money go. Remember back in the day, remember back in the 70s and the 80s, the highest paid attorneys were criminal law guys and mergers and acquisition guys. That's who was making all the money. You know who the highest paid lawyers are now? You know what field they're working in? They're working in family law, bro. They don't want this to go away. Like, they're making too much money. So don't get too mad. Yeah, there's a lot of dudes self-deleting over this sort of thing, man. People are getting hurt, man. And this is a male problem. This is pretty much a male problem, although some women get caught up in it. But, bro, this is the kind of stuff like we got to organize, man. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow. This is where the political stuff comes into play. It's like law games made by lawyers who become politicians who make more laws to make money off of facts. Bro, you ain't never lied about that. Let's continue.
Dependent.
I think it's a scam that's set up because the men in general are in control of the finances or make more money, and they can extract more money from them.
I don't see a lot of people turning it down.
Yeah, I mean that's why the system, I think, is set up the way it's set up. It's dark, man. I mean, the only time it's happened the other way that I know of is Tom Arnold. Arnold got away clean.
Sure, yes, it does. It does happen the other way.
He's one for the males.
Right.
We got one on the board. There's like, if the board was like here, it would be a fucking billion scratches on one side and 4 lines and the one through it, and then next to it is like Tom Arnold.
That's why I never
a couple of the dudes
never understood the concept of marriage, because when people would say, why don't you want to get married? I'd say, why would I invite the federal and state government into my love life?
It's very important. You have to have it. Otherwise, it's not real. If you don't get a signed piece of paper, what the fuck do you have?
Just your feelings for that other person?
Not good enough. How's she going to tell her friends? She's got to tell her friends that he really cares.
You've been brainwashed by.
No, he really cares. You think I'm serious?
I can see she's trained you to say that.
Y'all got to pay attention to this part coming up. This is, a lot of people that say that Joe Rogan isn't funny. Joe Rogan is funny. Joe Rogan's a funny dude. Like when you look at his stand-up, like he loves stand-up comedy and he's about that life. But Rogan is funny. And, at the Comedy Store, Rogan would be, in the back parking lot holding court, or, somewhere in the store holding court, and be sitting around listening to him. And bro, he would say some funny shit like he's about to do right here. He'll just kind of go into character, or he start doing something, and you got to know when he's doing it. And when you see it, it's like, oh, this dude is funny. Does that always translate to stage? Not always. But he's a funny dude. So pay attention to what he's doing right now. Listen to this, guys.
Right answer. Well, I think that's a crazy. I think that's a crazy backward way to look at it, that without the piece of paper, it's not real.
It's not real.
Whatever you have with someone emotionally, that's what's real. The paper is what's fake.
You shouldn't be worried about divorce because we're never getting divorced.
Oh, I'm not worried about you.
Fuck you're doing. Like why you're getting so upset about this, Bill? Just sign the paper and get married. We're going to be together for.
Yeah, that's what it is. Don't go anywhere. So yeah, this happens a lot, guys. Stand by. It's a copyright thing. I thought we would be okay. What they're gonna do is they're gonna bring it back, and in team replay, when you watch it, you won't see this. You won't see this. You won't see the gap. You won't see the gap. So just stay with me, and we'll be back in a second. We'll be back in a second. I was thinking it might happen. I mean, it is Rogan. But the best part was coming up. He was gonna do this part about just sign the paper, just sign it. I'm gonna do I'm gonna do a DL short with just the part of him, getting in the character, like just sign it. We're never getting divorced, just sign it. You know what I mean? It was so funny. And we'll be able to get through that. But yeah, man, it looks like we're back. Looks like we're back. And hey, Rogan doesn't care. Rogan wants you to share the stuff, man. It's YouTube, bro. It's YouTube, man. It's YouTube. Appreciate you, Cody. Like, yeah, man, just give us a sec. We'll be back. Brother Pablo, like, yeah, man, it's definitely on that, bro. Yeah, we're back. Appreciate you, man. I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm gonna do a DL short because I want that last little bit. It was getting to the part that I really wanted y'all to see. I'm gonna do a DL short on it when he was just like, just sign it. We're never gonna get divorced. It's so funny. And it took Bill Maher a second to catch on, even though Bill Maher is a master comedian. It took him a second to realize what Rogan was doing, and then he started laughing. Like, okay, I get you. But that is how society is, and that's how women are. Like, they want you to sign a piece of paper. Why get married to the state? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Why do it? It's a bad deal. Now, if you have less, if you're in a situation where you're about to get married to a woman who has Oprah Winfrey money, then bro, by all means, do it. Do it. And I'm not saying do it so you could take from her. I'm just saying do it because you don't have anything on the line. If in 7 years she wants to divorce you, fine. You just get divorced, you walk away, peace. But if she wants to make it tough, she wants to go to court, she wants to go to say, no, you leave those shoes and leave that car. Oh, you want to be like that? Bet. You go get your lawyer, boom. You go get James Sexton, right? Bam. She has to pay James Sexton to go through this procedure so we can see who's going to keep what. And then guess what? She loses 2/3. Now she's paying you alimony. If there's kids and you've been raising the kids, you're getting the kids, you're getting the house, she's paying you child support. This is why I'm certain that the laws are going to change a little bit, because women are going to find themselves caught up in it and find it there, and more women are having to pay. So trust me, it's going to change one way or the other, right? It's going to change. So, but we as men, we need to step up now and make these changes because it's the right thing to do. It's like what Brother Cody was saying about being honest and being moral, right? It was, they in court. One of the things I hated in court, I hated when judges said this. And it wasn't just the judges. Everyone involved in the system would say it. Even the lawyers, everyone else. Like, it's what's best for the children. Bullshit. That's an absolute lie. It's not what's best for the children. You telling me it's best for my child that my child doesn't see me? It's best for my child that my child doesn't see his siblings? It doesn't see half of his family? You telling me that's in his best interest? Because that's what they tell you. It's in the best interest of the child. Bullshit. It's in the best interest of the state. Because they're getting that money. And in those cases when you're dealing with women who have nothing, like the low end chicks, the 304s or whatever, the hood rats, they're getting government subsidies. So you're paying child support. The government will probably take 75, 80% of the money that you're paying. That's going directly to the state. The girl don't even see it. And the court wants the judges to issue higher and higher child support orders so they can get reimbursed for taking care of the woman. The system is jacked up. But we got all kind of stuff that needs fixing, right? That's just one of many systems that need to be fixed. So, but that's it, guys. That's our red pill moment. That's our that's our red pill talk for today. I think on Wednesdays, man, we're gonna definitely on Wednesdays we're gonna be doing red pill stuff. Maybe we'll do it on Monday and Wednesdays or something like that. But definitely we're gonna take the day to talk red pill stuff. Thursday we're gonna be talking politics. Like tomorrow is gonna be Trump Thursday. We're gonna be talking politics. And then Monday, Tuesday, we'll figure out what we're going to be doing. Maybe we'll do just random stuff that I see and whatever. But Wednesday and Thursdays, we're going to be talking red pill stuff. Because I know that, this is what we really love to talk about. This is where we get the most views, but that's not why I'm doing it. We want to do this to get the conversation going, right? To find young brothers out there like we found today. JSJD. We want to get young brothers out here that we can help out. We want to be talking to young women. We got our sisters in the building. We want them to come in and engage in the conversation so we can hear it from both sides and just take an honest look at this stuff, bro. It's hard out here, man. I do believe that the male experience is tougher than the female experience, but it's easy for me to say as a man. But that doesn't mean that women got it easy, right? That doesn't mean that they ain't going through nothing. It doesn't mean that, right? It's just men go through a lot, you know what I mean? But when you make a statement like that, you know, our sisters out there get mad, like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. And they take it as a slight. And then we start screaming past each other. I want to have the open dialogue. Like, you know, sis, tell me, because they do have to deal with stuff that we don't have to deal with. We deal with stuff that they don't have to deal with, right? Pretty privilege works really good for some women. Pretty privilege works sometimes for some dudes, but the ceilings are different. You feel me? The ceilings are different. So I tell guys, man, get on your game. Get your game right. Brother Cody, can a prenup protect against lifestyle acclimation? I've heard of people paying alimony because the wife I now used to a higher lifestyle of luxury. In Florida, when they changed the law family court with the mandatory 50-50 custody, they also got rid of what was called forever alimony. The thing with alimony in America, the standard of living thing played into it a little bit, but the thing with it, whatever the alimony was, the alimony order would stay in effect until the woman got married again. Think about that. So if you're divorced from a guy who's extremely successful and he's paying you $50,000 a month, and let's say $10,000 a month in alimony, $120,000 a year. He's paying you $10,000 a month in alimony, and he has to keep paying that money until you get married or, you're no longer with us. What's your motivation to get married? Right? I'm getting $120,000 a year. The house is paid for, so I got a free house out of it. If there's kids involved, think about that. Like there's kids involved, so now there's child support on top of that. So it might be another, $20,000, $30,000 a month in child support, and then child expenses like daycare, school, other stuff. Like you could be making $200,000-$300,000 a year between alimony and child support in those extreme cases. Right? I know people who have like just making like $120,000 a year get hit with $2,100 child support, just child support. Over 18 years, bro, that's like what, 400 some thousand, almost 500,000. You have to let's do the math. Like, hold on. Where's the calculator? So we're doing $2,100 a month times 12 times 18. You're looking at $453,600. $453,600 over 18 years. That's a house, even in today's market. Like that's a house for just child support. And that's someone who's making up, barely making $100,000, $120,000 a year. So think about that, man. The play is extreme. Yeah, lifetime payments, bro. So Florida did away with forever alimony. Now Florida bases alimony on how long you guys were together, and it's like a formula. We talked about it when that law first hit. We did a podcast about it. I forget what episode it was, but now you're only guaranteed so much alimony, and then it ends at a certain point. So it's no more this forever alimony, like Bill Prather was Bill Maher was saying, like, why am I paying you all this money basically forever? Cali, that's how Cali does it. Some other states do it that way. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. So, but these are the things that they changed in Florida, right? And and then another teaser for tomorrow. They're talking about Ron DeSantis have been mentioned for Department of Defense, I think, because Trump's nominee for Department of Defense doesn't look like he's going to be able to get through it. So now they're talking about maybe Ron DeSantis. We're going to talk about that tomorrow, guys. It's a lot going on. Hope you guys enjoyed this. This was fun. I really enjoy talking to y'all, man. I appreciate it. Y'all support me, man. I really do. It's just, I need it. Right? I need it. It was a long 2.5 weeks when I couldn't do this, guys. I was sitting around watching stuff. I had so much I wanted to say, and I couldn't get up. But now that I'm up, I'm about, we're going to keep doing this, bro. I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. So I hope you enjoyed it, man. This is our Red Pill Roundup on Wednesday, bro. That Joe Rogan, Bill Maher, We're talking about dudes finally coming, coming home to the red pill and not spending a lot of money on the first date. That was, guys, do not spend a lot of money on the first date with some woman you don't even know. Get to know her first. And then that bit about hookup culture and how just, hookup culture is harmful for women, especially young women, like what they're doing is definitely harmful. And also for men too. It can be harmful for men too. I mean, that's real talk. Brother D-Mac was talking about that, and I'm still thinking about what he said. He has a great point. And this is why I love this, this platform, YouTube, even though they give us a hard time, even though they do that, it still is a platform for us to talk. And, my views aren't locked in stone. Like if you tell me something, you give me food for thought, I'm gonna go back and think about it. I'm gonna go back and think about what Brother D-Mac was saying. And he has a good point. I'm gonna go back and think about that. Right. So my views aren't locked in stone. This is why I love interacting with y'all, bro. You know what I mean? DeSantis was a military lawyer. Absolutely. He was with JAG and he was attached to some SEALs. I know people were saying DeSantis was a Navy SEAL. Like, no, he wasn't. DeSantis was the lawyer, the nerdy dude who was attached, like he's in the rear with the gear, and the SEAL would go up to, SEAL teams, leaders would go up and talk to the guy, run some scenarios by him and say, okay, what's our legal exposure? That was the extent of his job. All right, we're thinking about doing this. What's our legal exposure? Right. And they will weigh that versus their orders and also probably talk to him when they're trying to formulate rules of engagement. That's what those lawyers are for. But he was definitely JAG. He was Navy. He was in the military, man. So, hey, I got to give him a shout out for that. At least he served. Right? At least he served. He was there. And he got deployed, boots on the ground, all that. So, that's it. That's all I got for today, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Brother Dino, man, I definitely got to look into what you said about the Norwegian thing, bro. Might be due for a trip over there, man. I might have to go over there and find my my freaky Viking, see what's going on over there. That app, they have an app to make sure that they ain't smashing their family, their cousins. That is wow. Appreciate that, man. So that's it. That's all I got for today, man. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure to have you. I definitely had a good time. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. We'll be back tomorrow. We're talking politics, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope to see you there. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.